let's talk about Winnipeg and BC tonight. This is a big game out west. Certainly, I would think here some things are at stake. Both these teams currently 11-4. The Lions at home, they have a 6-1 record at home. They've won 4 straight right now. Has Winnipeg come back to the pack a little bit here? Remember, they're not even, Toronto's the champs, but we just think of the success that Winnipeg and BC have had over the last, few seasons. Now, Winnipeg, they're just, what can you say? They've been going over practically every game of late. They've gone over in 8 of their last 10, and BC's gone 6-3-1 to the over in their last 10 games. You do have, both teams. They're in. I mean, they're these are the teams. They're in from the West, and so if anything, it's still probably a game that could determine the division title here. And I think BC at home, maybe Winnipeg, maybe that's why it's only 1.5? What do I have on screen here? 1.5. Maybe that's why it's as low as it is. So I'm going to take the Lions. I'm going over, of course, on some of these CFL games right now. I'm not scared of being square here. I mean, this is a series that Winnipeg has been pretty much in charge of over the last, want to say back before the pandemic even. Now, BC did win a meeting earlier this season. They won the first meeting of the season at Winnipeg, 30-6. Remember, at the time, it was a big stunner at that time. No, it wasn't a stunner because it was a stunner in the terms of the score. But Winnipeg did come back to crush the Lions 50-14 last time out, just a couple of months, 2 months ago. So I would think that the Lions have a little bit of revenge in mind. And like I said, I think these teams are relatively even. So, Nathan, talking about the A&M games tomorrow, Nathan, right? And let me see if I have that. I might try to, let me see if I have what I gave. I think we previewed the game, but if I have it here, I did give out the under in the game. Nathan, I gave out the under as my play, a very strong play on the under, by the way. And I don't have that in my notes necessarily. Well, I guess I can look at the line a little bit. I can react to you guys a little bit here on a day. Man, it's all the way down to 46. I mean, when we were on the show, I think we gave it out a little bit higher than that. But this one's been on the move, big time lower. It opened 48.5. Talking about the A&M game. But here with the Bombers and Lions, I'm going Lions and over. So maybe the Lions aren't that square, but over feels pretty square, but I don't care. There's a 64 points between the two last time. And when these two teams, they've played 4 straight games now in Winnipeg, because they had a playoff as well. Remember the game Winnipeg won last November 28-20. But the last time they played at BC Place, or whatever it's called now, might still be BC Place, was 40-32. And that was basically 1 year ago to the week. It was October 15th of last year. Last time Winnipeg played at BC. These two teams are still the class of Toronto as well, but the Western Division anyway. And that score was a BC victory, only their second victory in the last 10, 11, 12, I don't know how many it's been now, but BC's won 2 of the last 5 also. But it was 40-32 in that game. BC won. They covered 5 points. They were favored in that game. and they did get the money. So we'll take BC and the over. And you got 4 CFL plays, so right there. And come back and see me tomorrow if we win, because we could. That's right. Well, Terrell, we need some action on a day like today. I'm looking for your suggestions. Anyways, oh, here it is. Okay, the Cornell Harvard game is on ESPN2 today. Today, great. That's great. And I think if I kind of was looking at the total in the Cornell Harvard, but I think it could be pretty close to that number actually. And I don't sleep on Cornell, you guys. That's all I can say. Look, the move's clearly on Cornell. I'm not gonna. That's gonna be a premium play later in my side on that game. I'm not trying not to give it out. But 3 games today on my card in college football, and I just gave you all 4 sides and totals in the CFL because we're gambling tonight, you guys. Come on, Friday night, not enough games, right? You invest in those big cards, maybe on the short cards, you gamble a little bit because those are the games every day. Those are the games being played. And that's just the way it is. I mean, I respect anyone that comes out there and says, hey, they can sit out the card and pass, but I don't have a life. You guys are my life. Okay, Nathan says, what about the Twins tomorrow? Hopefully you guys can join me. I'll be previewing the Major League Baseball playoffs for Saturday. And maybe just take a moment before we get in. I'm going to preview 6 college football games in a moment and then get out of here. Enjoy a little bit of Friday. I always got my high school football that I love. Follow my old hometown. That's what I do. I sit here and watch a bunch of high school games on Friday night like I'm watching because there's not a lot of action. So if anybody follows me on Twitter, I apologize. Every Friday night, half my followers are betting aficionado. I got like 3,000 followers. I'm not a big deal. I'm not like those, but I've earned every one of them. When you look back, I've been on Twitter for like 15 years, but started, I've always been a handicapper but I've always been a community reporter as well. So I have a lot of high school information. You're going to get a tweet storm from me on Friday nights from high school football because half my followers are there for that. So apologize for that, but that's just the way it goes. And I have videos just like this, kind of, where I talk about high school football. Do like a hour or 2 every week, talk about the teams from my hometown, and kind of keeps me in touch with everybody. And comments come up, and it's real neat.